If you've been watching Scan FYI for any amount of time, you know that we've talked many times about aging in place, and we will continue to do so because it's that important of a topic. So once again today, we're going to talk a little bit more about aging in place, but a couple of aspects of that we've really not covered before. So if you want to know more about this, just stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. My guest today is Adrienne Bruker. She is from CareOne in Middletown. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure, and you are a first-time guest with me, correct?
Yes, I'm a
Okay.
first timer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, play your cards right. You'll be in the five timers club.
Looking forward to it.
Excellent. So, Adrienne, we really spend a lot of time talking about aging in place because it is an
Sure.
important topic and it's different for everyone. And today I want to zero in on a couple of very specific parts of it. But before we even get into that, why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers and just tell everyone a little bit about what is your role at Care One?
Sure. My name again, Adrienne Bruker. I've been with CareOne now for 9 years. I am the regional director of marketing and business development. And recently I've been placed to work with Middletown. Middletown is where I started. At CareOne 9 years ago. So it's nostalgic and it's my home away from home. It's got all the people that I love there. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, very good. And of course, all of Adrienne's contact info will be in the show notes. So if you want to reach out to her, find out more about Care One in Middletown, you'll be able to do that. All right, Adrienne, let's get into this. So we're talking about aging in place, but very specifically home safety, because
Yeah.
I feel like that is a little piece that is not always addressed. And I'm sure even me, I walk into many people's homes and I am sort of appalled, frankly, at some of the things I see.
Yeah, for sure. Home safety, you start to think that as you age, your home does not need to change, that you've lived there for many years. You're very comfortable in your home. You love the way that it's set up. But the reality is, as you age, things start to change. And so your home needs to change along with the times with you
Well,
as you
because
start to age.
we're changing whether we want to admit it or
Exactly.
not.
Exactly. So the little things that are really important that I mentioned previously are, if you have hardwood floors, making sure that you're not walking with socks. If you have
Yes.
rugs on hardwood floors, making sure that those corners of those rugs are put down, making sure that certain rugs that you have that you don't easily trip over, making sure that, there's railings by stairs or railings by the toilet or railings in the shower.
Shower.
Anything that is going to help you to stabilize your balance, should you get dizzy, should you need something to hold on to. The most falls that happen, are in the home. And so we have to protect ourselves as we age and make sure we set our home up for us and not have it set against us. And the thing that prevents independence from really lasting a long time is a fall. And so just to prevent those falls from
Yeah.
happening, it's really important. Another thing about home safety that I think people overlook is in the middle of the night when you're waking up, making sure that instead of sitting up and getting up immediately from bed, doing a 10-second rule. So you sit up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and you wait 10 seconds so that your body adjusts and that when you stand up, you're not standing up too quickly and you're not dizzy. And to piggyback off of that, making sure that the walkway is clear, that you're walking to the bathroom, there's nothing on the floor, there's nothing scattered, that you have a night light in place that you can see, even one that's motion detected, whatever it takes to make sure that, you are able to get from your bedroom to your bathroom safely. So those are just some things that are really important. There's a
You
few
know
more
what? But
too, but
those are such key things, and they seem trivial if you just say them. But anything you can do to prevent a fall, which will surely ruin your independence, and I think that not enough people have nightlights.
right,
And I also see that clutter on the floor is so dangerous when you get up and you're especially right when you get out of bed. Did you fling your book on the floor? Do you have shoes everywhere? Right?
right,
You really have to think about before you say goodnight that the pathway was clear because
right.
you're not going to remember when you wake up at 3 in the morning.
Right, absolutely. So, all of those things that you don't think about and you never had to think about before, you have to think about now as you age, because they are the difference between living independently and not. And that comes down to something that's really serious. They might, like you mentioned, be something that is so trivial when you talk about it, but at the end of the day, they come down to allowing you to live independently versus not, and that's the seriousness of it.
What do you feel is like the scariest room, has the most potential for for fall, for danger?
So
If
they
you had to
say
tackle one room in your house to make
to
sure it
really
was
focus. Right. They say, the bathroom is number one and the bedroom comes in as a close second with the kitchen as a tie. So you have lots of areas that falls really happen. The bathroom though is one that is most susceptible to problems because you are wet when you are coming out of the shower. So slipping and falling. And also depending on the kind of bathroom you have, you're stepping over, you're using one foot to step over the tub. You need your balance. The floor could be wet. Anything could happen. And also, just being honest, when you're sitting down to use the toilet, it's really low. It's a low seat. So not being able to get up or trying to get up is another problematic issue. The bathroom is one of those places that you want to have, gripping floor mats in place that are non-slip. You want to
not those
have,
slidey things that
right.
you could just anybody, your 3-year-old grandchild could get killed in there. Yeah.
Right. And, also so many people are very concerned with aesthetics and how their bathroom looks. But at this point, it's really not about aesthetics. It's about livelihood and about safety. So you want to really focus on putting those nonstick mats down and making sure that you have bars by the toilet, bars in the shower, should you lose your balance. It's really important that as you age, you really try to maintain your balance and you do balance work, and we can get to that later. But the bars in the shower are going to help you because as we wash our hair or wash our face, our eyes are closed. And anytime as you age, when your eyes close, you can automatically start to lose that balance and get dizzy. Having that bar there is going to stabilize you and allow you the opportunity to not fall.
A word about aesthetics, because I mean, yes, you want your home to look nice. You don't want to feel like you're living in a hospital, and I get that. And a
Right.
few years ago, I had my bathtub removed, and I had it converted into just a walk-in shower. And yeah, I wanted it to look nice too, but I was very surprised to find out that now you can buy beautiful things that are aesthetically pleasing, but they are 100% functional.
Mm,
And so I made my shower super safe, but just when you look at it, you don't look at it and say, "Oh, there's a grab bar there," because it's a shelf and it's elegant and it looks
right.
good. So
Right.
I think you don't have to so put that to rest, okay? You can make your bathroom look nice
Right. And still be safe, which
and
is
still be
great.
safe.
Right.
Yeah.
There are options out there to do that for sure. Yeah.
So, Adrienne, forgetting the bathroom for a second, let's just talk a little bit about your kitchen because you said that that also has some potential for scary moments. So, what do you want people to know about the kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely. The kitchen is susceptible because more than likely it is not a non-slippery surface. Most kitchens are either, tile or hardwood or the slipperiest, just like the bathroom of surfaces, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times we are doing things mindlessly, meaning we're carrying a pot, we're going to the fridge, we're not being cognizant of how quickly we're walking or what's on the floor. We're not thinking. And so, where there's a faucet, where there's cooking, there's going to be spills. There can be oil spills, there's going to be water spills, liquid spills, which lead a tendency for a fall, right? A susceptibility for a fall. So the big thing in the kitchen is a lot of people nowadays are putting like the non-slip mat, which is right by the sink. So if anything was to fall, it lands on that, and you are less susceptible to slip and slide. But I think really important is in the kitchen to just be really cognizant and not be mindless, and making sure you're looking at the floor, making sure that when you're multitasking, cleaning, doing the dishes, putting things away. I know even when you're doing dishes and putting dishes away, sometimes water is left in the cups
Right.
or water is left on the plate and it gets on the floor, and then you forget and you don't realize it and you can slip and slide. So it's just about really being cognizant and paying attention to the things that you might not have had to pay attention to, 15 years ago.
So, if you see a spill, mop it up immediately.
Immediately,
That's the
immediately. Yeah, absolutely. Immediately, for sure.
You know what I find people get into trouble with if you have a pet and the pet, the water bowl and the food bowl is
Yes,
in the
yes,
kitchen. If
yes.
it's not tucked away somewhere where nobody is walking,
Right.
it's all over the place.
Absolutely. And that's another problem too. And it's constant when you have a pet, they're constantly drinking
It's
water.
it is constant.
It's a constant cleanup, but it's for your safety. So it's the best thing to do to really make sure that that gets cleaned up right away.
What's your feeling about clutter on the stairs or clutter in general?
Well, you know, I'll tell you this. Sometimes I can understand that people, have disorganized chaos, right? But it's organized for them, right? They know where things are, they have things around. And that's fine when you are young and agile and mobile. But as you age, clutter is going to be your worst enemy. It is going to cause problems for you. And anything on the stairs as a hazard, is a fall hazard. And when you're talking about falling, let's say in your bedroom, it's one thing. But when you're talking about falling downstairs, it's another. So you really want to make sure your stairs are completely free of any hazard, any fall hazard, anything that, can cause you to trip or fall. It's hard enough, I think, as we age to get our feet completely up on the stairs. I know a lot of us have that struggle of completely clearing the stair and getting our legs to work. Why make it any more difficult by adding
Yeah,
clutter there,
yeah.
and adding it more, adding it more, making it more difficult for you to even, get up that stair. So just remove it. It's just not worth it. Put it on a table, put it on a dining room table, on somewhere that is out of the floor, nothing on the floor.
I know a lot of times people say, "Well, let me put it on the stairs because when I go upstairs, I'll bring it upstairs." And then it doesn't happen, and now you've got stuff on both sides and you've got this little tiny path for you to walk, and I think as you said, a fall on the stairs can be life altering for people
Yeah,
of
for
any age,
sure.
honestly.
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
um, I'm
Yeah, if you're
I'm
not
very
bringing it up,
anti-clutter.
yeah, if you're not bringing it up right then, I wouldn't put it on the stairs. I would put it
No.
on a counter and then remember to bring it up when you go up.
And I have to tell you, when I go into someone's home and I see those little area rugs, those little throw rugs,
Yes.
I just want to pick them up. And personally, I just want to pick them up and throw them out because
I know. They're decorative, but they are dangerous. So,
mm,
having something decorative is great. There's something that I recently learned about. It's called alien tape. And you put it on the edges of these throw rugs and it becomes really, really flat on there.
yep,
But if you are not using that, if you're not using some sort of glue or tape to really adhere the carpet to the ground, and even then, because there's a slight change in elevation, you are susceptible to a fall, even having it down. But most of us have those little corners that are lifted on those throw rugs. Most of us, the throw rug is movable and causes a slip hazard. So they're not your friend, but if there are a way that you can make it better than it currently is, making sure that it's glued down or taped down is your best bet.
do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yes, just do it.
So let's talk a little bit about the idea of a support network for
Sure.
everyone. I feel like, people of all ages need a support network, but it becomes even more critical if you live by yourself or, you're older. Your
Right.
children, your family is scattered.
Right. No, absolutely. Independence does not mean doing it alone. So that is the key, right? Independence is not meaning being alone. Independence is meaning, living as long as you can independently with a support system and with the facts that you know to ensure that you can live, as long as possible independently. And I really believe strongly in having a three-person support system that you check in regularly with daily. And the reason for that is we've seen so many elderly seniors that don't have that support system that
Yeah.
ended up falling and had no one that knew. And days went by, no one checked in on them, no one knew that they were there. And laying there on that floor wreaks havoc on a person's health. And it is something of a cause of mortality. It is something that can cause you to die versus having a fall, having someone that checks on you regularly and that you check in with regularly, they realizing it and you getting taken care of right away. It's really important to have that system in place if you live alone.
And I have to agree. I think you do need more than one person in your support system because maybe number one person is on a vacation, maybe the other person is out at the shop right. Hopefully, you'll get the third person. So I think I think that's a very important idea of having some phone numbers, people that call you and you call them every day,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
make
To
sure,
check
it's
in.
not like you need a 20-minute conversation. I just want to know you're alive
You're
and well.
good. Right. Exactly. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's a check in, it's a support system that you say, I'm alive and well. I'm doing good. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and you just do that daily for each other. And when you don't hear, then they're on the phone, they're going to your house, they're checking in on you, because that's really needed as we age. Like you mentioned, families are dispersed, they're around the country. We don't have people like we used to around all the time. So it's really important to have that support system to ensure that you're okay.
And you know what? You mentioned it, but let's make sure that your support system has a way of getting in your house. If they do
Right.
have to check on you, they have to be able to get in. So
Hmm. Hmm.
make sure you share a
Very
key.
true. Right. Very
Yeah.
true. Hmm.
Adrienne, thank you so much for being with me today and sharing this information. I just think that aging in place is something we all want to do, but it does require you have to put some things in place so that you
Absolutely.
can age in place, right? And home safety
Absolutely.
is a big one.
Yeah, it really is. It's really the key to your success and being able to live independently for as long as possible. And I want to thank you for having me. It was really my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much. And again, all of Adrienne's info will be in the show notes if you want to reach out to her, find out a little bit more about CareOne in Middletown. All right.
Yes.
So to everyone out there, remember, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, and we'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone, and bye, Adrienne.
Bye.